as we progress on our homestead, we realize that we can take nothing for granted. Each step we go, we realize we need yet another tool, yet another resource, and we've only brought just a tiny few things along with us. So if we need to do some digging out into the yard to do some work, we need a shovel. Today, we would just go to the hardware store, we would buy a modern shovel, we wouldn't think a second about it, but on the frontier in 18th century North America, there was no hardware store. We've got to make a shovel. The trees that we've got can be turned into any number of tools, and in 18th century North America, that's what they had. Lots and lots of trees to work with. Truly an amazing resource, and you can make things out of it that you cannot believe. Today, if we need to do some shoveling out in the yard, we go down to the hardware store and we buy a shovel, a metal-headed shovel with a fiberglass handle, and off we go. We don't think a second about it. But here in our homestead, we don't have a hardware store to go to. We've got to make every single tool. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the trees that we've got around us and make some shovels. 2 shovels to be made. One of them out of willow log, the other shovel out of this basswood. Brandon's going to be working on the basswood one on the pole lathe. We got lots of challenges. I'm not sure how that one's going to work out. He's going to turn it sort of like a huge mallet and then cleave it off and carve out a shovel. He's already made a few adjustments to the pole lathe so that that will work out. This one, this willow log, is going to be a double difficult because I've got to split this thing and then, well, basically carve it into a shovel. It's going to take a lot of hand chopping, so we've got a lot of work ahead of us.
When we initially built the pole lathe in the previous video, we had a very primitive tool rest. It would allow the puppets to slide back and forth, but it would not move in or out, which to get really good precise cuts you need. So on the fly, we made an adjustable tool rest that has 2 pieces here that can squeeze. So with this new tool rest, we'll be able to adjust it and we'll be able to get in tighter to make better cuts on thinner material, but it'll also adjust out so that we can cut the bigger material on it as well. And being able to adjust like that will help with a lot of different projects to cut on, as opposed to just that primitive tool rest that we had before in the previous video.
So this is not a very straight log at all. It kind of has this curve in it, but a lot of shovels do have a curve in them, don't they? The sort of bottom comes off at an angle. So I'm going to try to use the curves in this log to my advantage, and I'm going to split it. So those splits naturally follow that grain. They'll give us a natural curve to the shovel. Either it'll look horrible or it'll look great. Doesn't matter. This is the log I'm working with.